It feels like every single company on the planet is in this massive race to get large language models into everything they do. And why not? From automating tasks to chewing through huge data sets, this tech is a total game changer. We're talking about these incredibly powerful tools, right? Things like Google's Gemini, OpenAI's GPT-4. They're already unlocking just a massive amount of potential for everything from customer service bots to really complex data analysis. But all of this incredible power, it doesn't come without some serious risks. And that brings us to the big, crucial question that, honestly, a lot of people are just glossing over in this mad dash to innovate. With all that power under the hood, is your AI actually safe? Because when things go wrong, they can go spectacularly wrong. So, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to dig into why AI is such a double-edged sword. Then we'll introduce the solution, the LLM Auditor. After that, we'll peek inside its toolkit, see what it actually does, and really understand why it's so essential. And finally, we'll see how it can turn a huge gamble into a truly reliable asset. Okay, so this is the absolute core of the problem every company is grappling with. If you don't have strong governance, security, and compliance in place, that shiny new tool that's supposed to give you a competitive edge, well, it can turn into a massive liability, like overnight. So how in the world do you manage that kind of risk? Well, this is exactly where the LLM Auditor steps in. You got to think of it as a specialized guardian for your AI, the thing that makes sure it's operating responsibly, securely, and ethically. So what is this thing, really? Well, simply put, an LLM auditor is a specialized AI agent built for just one job: to put another AI under the microscope. It's designed to proactively poke and prod the main model to find all the flaws and vulnerabilities before they can cause any real-world damage. I love this analogy. It's basically an AI for an AI. And this isn't just some simple checklist we're talking about. Nope. It's an intelligent system that acts like an independent, and this is the key part, a tireless inspector. It never gets tired, it never gets lazy, and it never, ever cuts corners. All right, so let's pop the hood and take a look inside this inspector's toolkit. What are the core jobs that an AI auditor is actually doing day in and day out? It's basically running a super comprehensive 5-point inspection. First step, safety. It actively tries to get the AI to say harmful or biased things. Then it switches to security, checking for any holes that could leak sensitive data. Third, it digs into bias and fairness, making sure the AI isn't favoring one group over another. Then it checks for compliance with all the big regulations, like the EU AI Act. And finally, it keeps an eye on performance and reliability, just to make sure the quality of the answers stays high. It's really a top-to-bottom check. Okay, so we know what it does, but the million-dollar question is, why is it so essential? And this isn't just some techie, nice-to-have feature. This is absolutely fundamental to the whole business case for even using AI in the first place. And this quote just nails it. Think about it. You would never, ever launch a brand new car without doing 1,000 checks on the brakes, right? Well, deploying a powerful AI without a proper audit is just as reckless. The potential for a catastrophic failure is absolutely real. The whole business case really rests on 3 main pillars. The auditor helps you mitigate huge risks, it makes sure you stay on the right side of the law, and maybe most importantly, it builds the long-term trust you need for anyone to actually want to use your AI. So let's break each of those down. First up, let's talk risk. One of the single biggest threats out there is something called a prompt injection attack. This is where a bad actor comes up with this specially crafted message to basically trick the LLM into forgetting all its rules and doing something it should never, ever do. And just look at this simple example of how dangerous it is. On the left, you've got a totally normal, harmless prompt. But on the right, a really cleverly worded malicious prompt can just completely bypass the AI's safety features. This could expose sensitive customer data or even let an attacker take control of other systems. An auditor is built to stress test for exactly these kinds of attacks. The second huge risk is all about your reputation. Just imagine your new public-facing customer service AI suddenly starts spitting out offensive, racist, or just plain harmful stuff. The public backlash could become a PR nightmare and cripple your brand in a matter of hours. The auditor's job is to work tirelessly to make sure that never, ever happens. Okay, let's move on to our second pillar: compliance. With governments passing really strict AI laws like the EU AI Act, you can't just say your AI is safe, you have to prove it. An auditor gives you a detailed, defensible audit trail you can show to regulators. It can also verify that you're following industry-specific rules like HIPAA and healthcare, and even make sure the AI is sticking to your own internal company policies. And that brings us to our final pillar, trust. Look, an AI is only useful if it's reliable and predictable. But over time, these models can experience something called model drift. It's where their behavior kind of subtly changes and gets worse. An auditor is constantly monitoring for that drift, making sure the AI's performance stays consistent and trustworthy, both for your customers and for your own employees. So, when you bring those three pillars together, mitigating risk, ensuring compliance, and building trust, you really start to see the huge transformative power of an auditor. It's the thing that lets a business go from just hoping their AI works correctly to knowing it does. So here's the bottom line, the most crucial takeaway. An LLM auditor is what transforms AI from what is basically a high-risk gamble into a controlled, predictable, and totally dependable business asset. It's not just an add-on, it's a foundational piece of any serious AI strategy. Which of course brings us to the final critical question you have to ask yourself. Without this kind of intense, independent auditing, is the AI you're building a dependable asset, or is it a ticking time bomb?